Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I'm talking about WWE Raw episode 1373, SmackDown episode 1048, and 205 Live episode 147, broadcast on September 16th and 17th, 2019. So I have a ton of notes to go through, but I'm going to try to make this one quick because I am recording this just over an hour before. If you listen to the previous episode, I just recorded that one, and now I'm even closer to the live broadcast of NXT live on USA. I'm super excited for that. But these two episodes were pretty good. I enjoyed both of them a lot, and I'm looking forward to see where things go from here. Like, okay, this episode of Raw was like really weird. There's a lot of kind of nonsense on it, but I really enjoyed all of that nonsense. And then the end was fantastic. So we'll get to that in a minute. SmackDown was also really weird, but there's some great wrestling on there, and then 205 Live just killed it with the wrestling, as it always does. I'll get to all of that starting here at the beginning. I actually missed the first minute or something of this episode because I waited until right at 6 o'clock Mountain Time to turn on my Apple TV. Oh, that reminds me, I need to get that set up correctly, or I'll just watch it on my iPad again. But it had my login had expired on the AT&T TV Now. That name is so clunky. The AT&T TV Now app. I was trying to log in. Apparently, I forgot what my password is. So luckily, my iPad is still logged in. So I just logged into there. But by the time I got to doing that, it was already a couple minutes into it. So I forget what the setup was. I don't know. I don't forget. I didn't see the exact setup for this, but we had at the beginning of the show, Seth was out there, and then we had Firefly Funhouse, with Bray talking to Seth, and then we had upside down graphics for the show ahead, and Renee is like, wait a second, were these upside down this entire time? And it seemed like it was a mistake, but it was part of Firefly Funhouse, I believe. So we'll see. Well, I'll get to that because that closes out the show. Spoilers. All the spoilers. We had Rudolph and the Revival come out. Then the Revival came out, and then Braun came out and beat them all up, I think. Nikki and Alexa, they talk about Sasha Smurf and Bailey. That's all I wrote down for that. But they're talking about their upcoming match that would happen later in the night. The OC versus Cedric and the Viking Raiders. So all three members of the OC. They won, and then they all were beating up Cedric. And then there's a big brawl, and AJ hit a super Styles Clash on Cedric. Then we have, let's see. They're in Knoxville, and so R-Truth and Carmella went to visit they went to tour around town, and Mayor Glenn Jacobs was there to show them around, and he wanted to take them to the stadium of the University of Tennessee, and so we get back to that later on in the night. King of the Ring final, King Corbin is crowned. He wins the match via End of Days, which is like a ridiculous counter to End of Days. I'd say this is Baron Corbin's best match yet. I thought it was great, and we'll get to more of the aftermath of this, but I was actually I was rooting for Corbin, so I was excited that he won here. So then backstage we have the gender reveal for Maria and Mike's baby, or is it Mike's baby? Maria's baby is a boy, and the father is Ricochet, she claims. And Ricochet's like, what? She's obviously lying, dude, but then she's trying to get them to fight, and so they go and have a match, which Ricochet doesn't want to do. He's trying to reason with Mike, but Mike is just infuriated, and Ricochet wins the match via the recoil. And let's see. We had more before. Okay, this continued, but before that, we had more Firefly Funhouse. Death portraits. Oh yeah, he was hanging up death portraits of all the people who he's killed so far. He says, "Time to find more friends." Not in that voice. Then Ricochet was a lie. The father is actually Rusev. The ravishing Rick Rusev comes out. He has that porn stash, and he wins the match against Mike Kanellis via accolade. And Mike is like, you know what? Congratulations. Just like, you can have her, whatever. I'm done with this. One of my favorite lines in there's a really funny one from 205 Live. I think that's going to be the title of this episode. But this one was really funny that Renee is like, "That's not pregnancy glow. That's some kind of evil." And I agree. Back at the University of Tennessee, the Neon Stadium, Glenn Jacobs is there showing R-Truth around. He introduces him to a sheriff, but he's not actually a sheriff. He's a referee. R-Truth tries to run away, but he runs right into the goalpost, and Glenn Jacobs pins him and wins the 24/7 championship. And as he's running off, he says, "I still got it." That was pretty great. We had Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro in an incredible match. As always, with either of these two guys, but these two together, oh man, the 619 versus Swiss 19. Cesaro didn't actually hit a Swiss 19 in this match, I don't think. But anyway, it was pretty awesome. Rey Mysterio won. Then we have another Firefly Funhouse segment, and Seth has been hung on the wall with Bray just smiling at the camera. And then we go to AOP. They're very well dressed. They have these great suits on, and they're speaking their native languages. And it's yeah. I really like these segments. It's really awesome. It's really cool. I like it. AOP, the AOP Mafia, and they say authors of pain, and that they refer to that more, bringing that back, because that kind of went away for a while, even before they went away for a while. Then we had Sasha and Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Sasha wins this match with the with a bank statement to Nikki Cross. But it's interesting here. Cole was like, "Well, Sasha says it's boss time." He's like so unexcited. So Michael Cole hates Sasha now, and then Corey Graves hates Alexa now. Because Renee was like, "Aren't you excited that Alexa's here?" And he's like, Corey's like, I'm over it. Whatever. They focused on hitting Alexa's knee. That was really rude of them. And then Sasha won the match. But Becky runs out with a chair. Everybody has a chair. Sasha, Bayley, and Becky all have chairs. They have a chair fight. And then Charlotte comes out and she just boots. She's in heels and she just boots Bayley right in the face with the chair. That was pretty cool. But the chair fight was so funny. They were like, it was like, like a play sword fight, but with chairs. I enjoyed it. Back at as they arrive at the arena, R-Truth says, I forget, he lulled Glenn Jacobs into his false sense of security and wins back the championship. And no, he surprises him first, and then Mayor Jacobs is like, yeah, I'm calling him Mayor Jacobs. It's like, hey, whatever. He's upset about it, and then Archer's like, hey, you don't want this. It's like a whole other job on top of your job that you have to. You're busy being president mayor. You gotta. With this, people are after you all the time, and it's a lot of stress. And then Mayor Jacobs is like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point. Let's go into the arena." Lacey Evans versus Dana Brooks is a match that happened. Lacey won via the sharpshooter, and then our main event was Seth Rollins versus Robert Roode. Seth won via disqualification when Dolph attacked Seth during the match. The OC runs out and joins in the melee, but then Kane comes out, smacks them all around, which is fantastic. but then the Fiend arrives and murders Kane. And that was pretty great. That's what I hoped it would have happened to The Undertaker last week. So I'm really happy to see that it happened to Kane this week. Just building up the Fiend more and more and more. I freaking loved that. It was great. So that's it for Raw. I really like just the Mayor Jacobs and Kane stuff and all the Firefly Funhouse stuff. All of that throughout it was a thread throughout the entire episode. It bookended the episode. It was all freaking great. And that's like I wouldn't say that's the best it could possibly be, because I would hope that it could be even better than this, but it's so much better than some of the episodes that are like, what is even going on? Nothing even tight. It's all just random nonsense. This one, you had that through the entire episode, and a lot of this stuff, because you also had the women's stuff going on throughout the episode as well. And I thought that all was pretty great. Moving on to SmackDown the next night. The first half hour of the show is the only half hour that I actually watched live. The rest I watched later on. But the New Day, all the New Day versus the FTRKO, Randy Orton, Dash Wilder, and Scott Dawson. The New Day defeated them. And then Brock comes out and challenges Kofi to a WWE Championship match on the first SmackDown on Fox on October 4th. And Kofi accepts, and I am super excited for that. Also, Brock Lesnar looks more like a Lego man than ever. His hair is particularly blocky, and he's got that beard back, and I'm super excited. I'm really excited for that. I don't care. A lot of criticism for Brock all the time, no matter what, really. But I am seriously excited for this. And I may be biased because I'll actually be at the show, because that's pretty awesome. Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn come out to have their match, to have Shinsuke's match against Ali, but they attack Ali before then, and the match doesn't actually happen. Kevin is in the audience, and Shane is delivered, he's been served papers, and Kevin has brought a lawsuit to Shane McMahon, and when he wins, Shane not only will have to pay Kevin Owens $25 million, but he will also lose his job at WWE. So, interesting. Anyway, Charlotte versus Sasha ends a disqualification when Bayley attacks. So Charlotte technically wins this match. And then Carmella comes out and saves Charlotte. Carmella and Bayley are good friends, but Carmella came out there to stop the evil of Bayley. But I tweeted this last week at some point or maybe I tweeted it after the pay-per-view. I was like, maybe all four of the horsewomen are evil. Not evil, but maybe none of them are good people. They're all bad. But anyway, next we had the coronation of King Corbin. Tons of short jokes, and he brings out Chad Gable to berate him with short jokes under the guise of celebrating him. But Gable has had enough. He attacks Corbin, and he destroys all of the King of the Ring stuff. So we only get 5 minutes of Baron Corbin in all of the King gear. And I think that was pretty brilliant way of ending the King of the Ring thing. Man, I'm excited to see where this goes from here. What if Gable just goes on a rampage, goes after King Corbin, and if King Corbin, if he's more of like a kingpin at this point with his kind of stylish shirts and stuff. Heavy Machinery versus B Team. Otis, no singlet, just trunks, and that's made of everybody makes a big deal out of it. And I'm making a big deal out of it right now, but it was important. I liked how when he was hit a couple of times, it just made him dance. That's hilarious. And yeah, this is a really fun match. Heavy Machinery won via the compactor to Bo Dallas. Daniel Bryan comes out, says that he never lied and that Rowan was his friend. Rowan comes out and says, "Shut up." And then Luke, as he comes down to the ring to face Daniel Bryan face to face, Daniel Bryan challenges him to hit him. He's like, that kind of thing. But Luke Harper attacks Daniel from behind, and Roman Reigns comes to the rescue. But it's not enough. Roman Reigns is thrown into a post. The Bludgeon Brothers kill some of the security guards, and Roman even uses a panel of the barricades as a ram. Like, that was awesome. And then they slam Daniel Bryan right through the table. So mass chaos there at the end. And that leads us into 205 Live. This wasn't like a must-see episode or anything like that. It was solid. It was a solid episode. We had Lince Dorado versus Arya Daivari. Lince won via Shooting Star Press. Then we had Brian Kendrick versus Jack Gallagher. They're talking about the strategy for going up against Gallagher's handstand in the corner maneuver, and I think it was Brennan who says, maybe it wasn't him, and I don't know what his NXT name is now. I'm sorry about that, but I think, is it Dio something? But anyway, somebody says about the strategy of going against that move is don't run into the foot. And so that is going to be the name of this episode. But I forget who won this match. Who did win this match? I'm not sure. But Brian Kendrick attacks Jack. Oh, I think it was disqualification when he... so Jack was distracted by Akira, and Kendrick comes along with a kendo stick. And so his last name should now be Kendo Stick instead of Kendrick. Kendo Stick. Kendrick. Or Kendrick? Kendo Stick, I think. Anyway, the Brian Kendo Stick. He attacks Jack, and Akira is baffled, and he has sympathy for... He's checking on he's checking on Gallagher, and Kendrick hits him with the Kendo Stick as well. This trio, man, they have had their... Man, they've gone back and forth all around, all the different combinations of the three. I don't know where they'll land in the end. Hopefully on their feet. And then our main event, Oney Lorcan versus Tony Nese. I spaced on his last name for some reason. This match ended... Okay, this is a solid match. Just go watch it. I didn't take notes on specifics that happened, mostly because I was watching this as I was... What was I doing? I was reading a comic. I was catching up on some comics while I was watching it, so I wasn't really paying attention to it. But Drew Gulak distracts Oni, and that allows Tony to get a roll-up and get the win. So we'll see if Oni gets... No, it's Jack Gallagher who recruited Kushida. Let's get Danny Burch in here to help Oni fight this... this reunited scourge of Tony Nese and Drew Gulak. That match would be pretty fantastic, and I hope it doesn't happen until I'm at the show where it happens, so I can see it in person. But that is everything for Monday and Tuesday of this week. This is week 38 of 2019. Next week, I will not be at those shows. I wish I could be at those shows. They are both in San Francisco. That would be so awesome to go to those, but I'll be in San Antonio this weekend, and it's a different San. But maybe I could make it happen now that I canceled another flight to do something else because of something. I canceled these flights. I canceled the flights to San Antonio. That's right. But that would mean I would have to leave my stuff at the airport, but maybe I could leave my stuff in, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But, it's possible, but I am leaving to drive out there, early tomorrow morning, probably in 6 to 8 to 9 hours, something like that. So I can get down to San Antonio before the show this weekend. It's Big Texas Comic Con or Great Texas Comic. I don't know what it is. Go to demonjackal.com for information on that. I'll have all of my art there, and I might have some other stuff there too. Stay tuned. Or go to that convention to see if I do bring other stuff. I'm probably just going to have my own stuff. Maybe some Blu-rays. Maybe a handful of comics. I don't know. stay tuned for updates on that. I'll be doing my comic book episode actually right now. I'm going to record it right after this because I still have about 50 minutes before NXT goes live on USA, which I am super, super excited for. But after those shows in California, after those shows in San Francisco, which I may or may not go to, and I kind of want to go to now, I might be able to make it happen. After those, I'll be the next week. I'll be at all of the televised shows, except for NXT, for the next like 2.5 weeks after that. So I will have not live during the shows or whatever, but reports from all of those shows right after they happen. I'm really excited for all of that. So stay tuned for everything. Let me know what you thought about these episodes by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all the infinite multiverses so I can see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.